Steve Mulroy last year. Mulroy shared the news at a conference earlier this week alongside other local law enforcement. He said the county has been flooded with the machines that he says look and act remarkably like slot machines since last summer.
When the Drug Task Force did its sweep last summer, we found evidence of money laundering at some of the locations. When we took a look at the statistics, we saw that at those locations, at some of those locations anyway, or in the nearby area, we saw a higher incidence of criminal incidents. And that is enough for us to be concerned. But of course, it isn't even necessary for us to show that, because as a matter of law, they're simply illegal.
DA Mulroy says the ruling now puts everyone, especially convenience store owners and managers, on notice. If they have these machines, they will be seized. 8:04 is your time. Residents in Lakeview Garden are frustrated by trash, overgrown grass, and a lack of upkeep in parts of the South Memphis neighborhood near Otis Redding Park. Piles of furniture, old tires, and mattresses have become eyesores, and some say the mess has sat for weeks or even months. City official Karen Gauze urges residents to report issues by calling 311, using the app, or submitting a request online. She says crews are working through a high volume of service calls.
Sometimes we do have those instances where multiple residents are reporting an issue, and we love that. However, though, it does clog the system, and so typically what happens is, we will go in and close out the multiple tickets.
Requests for potholes, missed trash, overgrown grass, and bulk waste can all be submitted through 311. Gauze says reporting is the first step to getting it fixed. The city says trash or debris should be picked up by the end of the day today. The Memphis Firefighters Union is suing the city over pay. The union president called and said the city had no choice, said that they had no choice, rather. They negotiated raises a year ago, and firefighters are getting raises just less than expected.
Our people are really disgusted and disappointed.
Memphis's fire union president Thomas Malone and the roughly 1,500 firefighters he represents are frustrated with the decision made by the city last month, which he says changed their agreed upon raise from 5% to 3%.
It's not only wrong, it's dangerously affecting the staffing.
Malone says within weeks of the June City Council decision, 6 paramedics left MFD for a job in a suburban city for more money and less work. Now, the union is suing the city for what it calls blatant disregard of the impasse ordinance.
The impasse ordinance says if our package is chosen by the council, it will be put in the mayor's budget. The mayor had put it in his budget. The fire chief put it in her budget. So we had no reason for any concern.
But during that June meeting, council members said that money simply was not in the budget.
We're not here trying to steal your money. I don't need your money. I'm not trying to steal it. I want to see this city grow and move forward. As my colleague said, there was a zero to give you nothing. But we worked and we prayed and we came up with a number.
I worked day, night, We made y'all happy last year. We didn't have to give you a zero then. We didn't do that.
Malone argues otherwise, saying the numbers were decided in 2024.
We agreed to it last year. We understood that when we did it. We thought they understood it. If we understood we couldn't get any more, we understand we weren't going to get any less.
He also says the lawsuit is about more than the 2% taken away from firefighters.
This is as much about the process and the trust in the city administration and the city council as anything.
Another major concern, retaining firefighters. Malone says they've lost 80 this year, not including retirees.
I went down to Florida to talk to how they able to keep all their paramedics, and he said, we train them and we pay them. It's a simple analogy there.
Well, I did reach out to the city of Memphis on this matter, but because it involves pending litigation, we were told they are not commenting. All right, 8:08 is your time this morning. Heat safety comes by protecting yourself from the sun, of course. Sunburn is one of the leading causes of skin cancer. Dermatologists treat a lot of skin cancer during the middle of the summer. Whether you work in the yard, enjoy a day at the pool, or even drive during the day, exposure from the sun can cause problems to your skin.
Be smart about your ultraviolet exposure. Try to be reasonable with how much unprotected ultraviolet exposure you're getting. I would also recommend people to use lotions or cream versions of sunscreen and try not to use sprays.
Helpful info there. As you just heard, he said that lotion does a better job of getting on the skin and staying there. He also recommends UV protective clothing. All right, so good info to know as we get ready for another hot day. I mean, it's summertime in Memphis in the Mid-South. So, Riley, what can we expect today?
Yeah, so we have more heat alerts in effect for the day today. And as we look out and about over Oxford, this is one area that's not under any heat alerts today. Can you tell this cloud cover is trying to keep you a little bit cooler within Lafayette County? Well, it is, and that is evident here on our temperatures. That's where it's still in the 70s rather than the 80s, where it's 80 degrees in Memphis, 81 in West Memphis at this hour, and those feel like temperatures a little bit warmer than that. We're feeling like 86 in Memphis, 85 in Tunica, up towards Dyersburg. Well, not getting a reading in there, but that temperature is still sitting at 78 degrees. Now, looking at our Doppler radar, there is some shower activity just off to the east of Lafayette County. Now, Tupelo, that's where we have quite a bit of rainfall. We've seen quite a bit of rainfall in Tupelo this morning. But here in our immediate viewing area, those rain chances remain low as we head throughout the day. 10 to 20% at the peak heating hours of the day, where you can get most of the storms to pop. So vast majority of us stay dry throughout your Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies in the forecast. They become more partly cloudy as we head into the afternoon. So looking at our heat alerts, there is an extreme heat warning now in effect. This was just off to our west yesterday. Well, now we have an extreme heat warning that includes wind up towards Harrisburg, up in Mississippi County, Arkansas, all the way down, not including Phillips County. Phillips County is like all the other orange shaded areas just to the east of the Mississippi River. Feel like temperatures upwards of 105 to 109 degrees during the warmest part of the afternoon. Those highs getting up into the lower 90s, 92 today in Memphis. Oxford, we could stay in the upper 80s just due to the fact that we are going to be seeing those clouds keep us a little bit cooler, but still will likely feel like the 90s or triple digits there today. We are highlighting Saturday today because of that heat alert that is in store for across the region. But those temperatures, they warm up. The cloud cover goes down as we head into the next few days. 98 degrees is what the actual temperature will be on Tuesday. So as you can imagine, the feel like temperature going to be even higher than that. Wednesday, that's our warmest day on this map, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of these days next week gets up into the triple digits, because we're going to have a high pressure in place. That causes sinking air. Air compresses at the surface, and it almost acts like an oven when you get that sunshine. So if you thought this past week was hot, it's going to be even hotter out there as we head into next week. So all the precautions apply. Drink plenty of water. Take breaks out in the sunshine, and if you have a pool, that's the best thing you can do as we get mostly sunny towards the middle part of next week. Overnight lows dipping down into the 70s.
The Justice Department has asked federal judges to unseal grand jury transcripts in the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell cases following President Trump's order to Attorney General Pam Bondi to release relevant testimony pending court approval. Now, the move comes amid growing pressure from Trump's supporters despite a recent DOJ memo refusing to release more Epstein case details. Epstein died by suicide in 2019, while Maxwell was convicted in 2021 and is serving 20 years in prison. Well, back here at home, in 2026, Tennessee will elect a new governor, and current Bill Lee current governor, I should say, Bill Lee, is term limited. Memphis City Councilwoman Jerry Green is running. She says it is time for a change. She's a mom and city leader and wants to create a better future for her children and the state. Green calls herself a different kind of Democrat who understands struggles across Tennessee. With Republicans John Rose and Senator Marsha Blackburn also running, Green says she's ready for the challenge.
In a moment like this, watching someone who has been in D.C. for decades, who is being a blank check for Donald Trump and his agenda, which I think is chaotic at best and harmful to everyday people, I can no longer stand on the sidelines.
Well, I also asked the councilwoman about XAI. She told me she is cautiously optimistic, but wants more than just pothole fixes. She is hoping for pollution cleanup and health clinics as well. She did support the full raise for the firefighters as well. That's something else we discussed. And she also, you can watch that full interview on actionnews5.com. All right, 8:13 now. In Mississippi, a new seafood labeling law is in effect after a recent study revealed the need for transparency to consumers. Courtney Ann Jackson explains what this means for seafood business owners.
Came in today. Super beautiful.
Hunter Evans is the executive chef and co-owner of Mayflower Cafe and Elvy's in Jackson.
I think it is a good thing to be transparent with the guests that are coming to eat food at our restaurants.
A look at the menu here at the Mayflower shows this statement: "We proudly serve domestic seafood."
The conversation that we've had with our suppliers of, hey, if we get a fish and it's on the menu and we're out of it, let us know and we can try to find something else. I see it as an opportunity for us to support the community. Even if it's not immediate, it's fishermen, on the coast, oyster farmers.
As of July 1, it's not just an expectation of diners, but a law that anyone from restaurants to grocery stores selling seafood in Mississippi has to clearly label if it's domestic or imported.
Trying hard to keep our own fishermen alive and working. And, with the imports right now, 95% of the shrimp coming into America is from that is served in America from out of the country.
Without a law requiring labeling, there's not a good way to know what that percentage is here in Mississippi.
I don't think we had a way of knowing.
What did happen was the Southern Shrimp Alliance commissioned Seed Consulting to do scientific genetic testing on shrimp dishes served at 44 seafood restaurants across Jackson and surrounding areas. That was only a sampling. They found that 30 of those tested that claimed to be serving domestic caught shrimp were not. We asked for the full list of restaurants in the sample group, but they are not disclosing that. But
we have been requested after a period of time to go back into the marketplace and check again so we can see what happened, what enforcement and regulations have an effect. They've had pretty good effects in Louisiana.
Violators will first get a written warning, but would then be subject to civil and misdemeanor criminal penalties, including fines.
That was Courtney Ann Jackson reporting. Today, the Shelby County Health Department and All Fours Rescue League are hosting a free drive-through pet clinic. It is already underway and goes until 11 at the Millington Primary School. You can get free rabies, parvovirus shots, microchips, and pet license tags for your cats and dogs. It's first come, first serve, so get out there right now. Make sure your pets are leashed or in carriers, and stay in your car. Meanwhile, Memphis City Councilwoman Pearl Walker is hosting the second annual Man Up Men's Wellness Resource Fair. It's going on this morning. The free event is meant to uplift and empower men in the city of Memphis. It offers vital resources and expert panels, something Brother Dimitrik Muhammad says strongly benefits this community. Well, that gets started at 2 o'clock at the Whitehaven Community Center Banquet Hall. Delta Airlines is pausing its Memphis to JFK flight after January 4th of next year, and then it'll resume on May 7th. The airline says schedule changes reflect seasonal demand and lower winter travel. JFK Memphis is a key business route the community requested, also easing transatlantic travel. Delta does still offer nonstop flights between Memphis and LaGuardia Airport. All right, 8:17 before we go, let's get one final check of that forecast, Riley.
Yeah, so today we have the heat advisory in effect for Memphis. For parts of our Arkansas counties, we have that extreme heat warning, but highs getting up to 92 degrees. This will be the coolest day of the next week.
Wow.
And we're really going to feel hot. Could get our first 100-degree day as we head into the middle part of next week. So we're going to watch that very closely.
I'm eyeing Wednesday. I see 99. We're almost there.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen as early as Tuesday, really. So we're going to watch that, especially with some extreme heat warnings in that forecast.
All right, good to know. We all stay cool out there. Keep yourself hydrated. Use the sunscreen, all the things. Thanks so much for joining us here on Action News 5. We'll see you back here on air at 5 o'clock.
Take the First Alert Weather Team wherever you go. Live radar, hour-by-hour forecasts, everything you need to help plan your day. Download the free First Alert Weather app today.